What's up, everybody? Okay, so today I'm gonna give my white boys in hip hop a little love. Like I've said, hip hop is hip hop. One of the beautiful things about hip hop is that hip hop, at its core, I would argue, is multicultural. Yes, it was primarily built, and the best artists tend to be Black American, specifically New Yorkers, because they're sort of the ones that are, assembled everything that came with hip hop before James Brown, Isaac Hayes, into breakbeats, and created the culture. But the point is that hip hop, at its very core, it was always going to expand into the world because it's like a virus. It takes and borrows from everything. And so when you have that attitude of being sophisticated and worldly, obviously you're going to reach out beyond New York and you're going to reach out into every corner of the world. And this is why hip hop, at its core, is accepting to all kinds of people. And it has been. It pretty much always has been. So I will say that it's a great thing that I can talk about this. I can talk about House of Pain. I think that this is the greatest song by a white person ever. The rapper is white, the producer is white, and someone says, yo, told you it's about race. Race has always been a part of the construct of our society, unfortunately, our modern society, and very much so in the music business. Anybody that denies that is, well, just frankly lying to themselves. And I don't like when people lie to themselves and pretend like it's not about race. Those tend to be the racists, because racists want to always sort of pretend like it doesn't really exist. It's not a thing, when we know quite obviously that it is a thing. And acknowledging it for what it is how we get rid of it. That's the whole point, right? It's not, I'm not the bad guy because I bring it up. In fact, I'm the good guy because I want people to be more aware of it and to do better, and, so that we can all sort of get along, right? Because I love everybody. I really do. Anyway, let me react to this because I really love this video, actually. I think this is a really dope video on the low. A lot of people might not necessarily think about it that way, but I think it's obviously a phenomenal record. The House of Pain, Jump Around. I heard the song in the 90s, a little, like maybe a couple years after it came out. And I remember the first time I ever heard this, funny enough. I don't remember what commercial it was for, but it was used in a TV commercial. And I remember, like, when I heard that, the beat, I just remember it felt like the room was tilting. I was just like, what the fuck is this beat? This shit is ill! Like, it just was one of those things. It was so obviously dope. I think this is one of the craziest beats in rap history. It's like, it's a phenomenal record, man. There's no other way to say it. And this is the kind of stuff you've got to make for people to really respect where you're coming from. You come out with a crazy beat. Eminem has never made a song this crazy in his life. In his life, he could never make something like this. I mean, maybe he does have the talent level if he was to develop his craft, but Everlast to me is a better rapper than Eminem. But anyway, we'll talk about that, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Iconic video, really dope. Let's get started. Right away, the cemetery. I'm a Catholic church, I'm assuming. This is what I love about this video, man. Like, the way that they rap how Irish they are, ill. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the genius of hip-hop. And this is why hip-hop became world culture. And this is why, again, it's when people talk about black folk, like, being racist, it's like, what are you talking about? We inspire people to be themselves because we don't like being put down. That's the whole point. We're so welcoming of other cultures. You'd be surprised. Yes, of course, there are black folk who are prejudiced, without a doubt. I mean, we're human. There are human beings everywhere that are prejudiced. There are human beings everywhere that are not, right? But my point is that the culture of hip-hop, at its core, inspires people to be who they are. And say, okay, all right, you've seen people rep the South Bronx. You've seen people rep New Jersey. So obviously, as you're listening to hip-hop, you're like, oh, maybe I should rep myself, right, as well. Because it's part of the larger world. And that's the whole point. So I love that, right away, I'm assuming that this is some kind of Irish church and House of Pain, and it's kind of hard, and they're carrying a coffin. The competition, they're bodying you already, right off the bat. Again, it's dope.
The House of Pain is in effect, y'all. I say the House of Pain is in effect. You know the House of Pain is in effect, y'all. And anyone that steps up is getting wrecked.
Oh, shit's ill. Irish. The parade. And then my man comes in, entering the Irish pub. Again, it's just rapping, man. It's rapping. The malt liquor. Kiss me, I'm Irish. It's beautiful. Pack it in, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. I remember that shit, man. When I heard this, I was like, this is hard. Battle me, that's a sin. Like, how dare you? That was like, you better back up. The whole crew will act up. Stand up, roll with the feelings. If you got the feeling, jump and touch the ceiling. Rose in the eye. Shot a don't shot. I got props. My props. Shit's good. I'm getting out and see you jump around. Jump around. Look at him. Pure pandemonium, man. Mixed with the Irish and everything. This is so ill. Alright, let me stop there for a second. Obviously, I love how active the song is. People have to understand, songs like this are actually really hard to make. At this level, and make them well, not everybody can do this. And I think so this is something that gets lost on these so-called lyrical nerds, lyricists or whatever. And I'm not talking about the artists, I'm talking about the fan base. There's a whole fan base of people in rap that came in, usually, through Eminem. But they just think that it's all about lyrics, and it's not even like they like all lyrics. They just like the edgelord, corny Eminem lyrics. Again, we peeped that. But the point is that they think that, if the rhymes are simple, then it can't be, the song can't be dope. But it's like, no, it takes a lot of work and charisma and skill to be able to deliver songs in the way that people understand, right? Battle me, that's a sin. Even just to write that requires some intellect. And then to say it in a way that's appealing. And to have the right beat that just moves people. I mean, getting people to move is tough. Seriously. Especially decades after your shit's, been relevant, right? I mean, it's still relevant. This is an eternal song. So to get people, emotion, to stir emotion in people is actually very, very difficult. You would be surprised. It's usually a lot easier, in a way, to appeal to someone's intellect, sort of, in a way, than it is to appeal to them emotionally. Because that's the tough shit, actually. To get people to feel something is very difficult. Especially if it's something that they're not already predisposed to feeling. Right? So my point is that, you're someone who's just at home, you hear Jump Around for the first time, you're not predisposed to loving the song. You don't know who these guys are. But you hear it and you're like, oh my God! Right? Just that burst of energy, that's hard. It's hard to create shit like that, honestly. And that's why, again, emotion is really at the core of great music, right? And that's why music that doesn't have that passion in it, that isn't made with that energy, and it just feels weak. And it doesn't matter what genre. Yeah, it's like, yo, Japaro. I'm stuck it all. I love this. I serve your ass like, yo, John. I'm stuck it all. Word to the moms, like bomb. More rhymes than Bibles got songs. It's great. And just like the prodigal son, I've returned again. This is something that I miss about older rap. That train of thought continuing from one bar to another. You've brought up the Bible, I used it as a simile, and then you're continuing that metaphor. You just don't see this. This is some stuff that's so basic. And so I'll go, you don't notice it. But when you look at it on paper, you're like, oh my God, this is fucking great writing, right? You brought it up, now you're extending the metaphor. You'll not return. When you one step at me, you'll get burned. You ain't got none. If you come to battle, bring the shotgun. To the death. Take a last breath. Fire. Get your fill. Cause when I shoot the gift, I shoot the kill. I came to get down. I came to get down. So you don't see, jump around. Jump around. I will say this. Fuck the Celtics. I say that with love, obviously, but I'm not a Celtic person, obviously. But again, look, listen, this dude's Irish. I don't know if he's from Boston, whatever. He's repping the Celtics. He's Irish, Celtics, pride, the whole nine. It's all Irish. He's repping. He even has the look of a white boy of that time, like a punkish kind of, and that's dope. Again, like he made it hip hop, right? And this is what you got to do in rap. Like we want to hear from you. And again, I'm saying this as someone who's just a fan. I want to hear from you. I don't care what culture you're from. Just make it cool. Make it look interesting. And come up with a hard beat. You know what I'm saying? Come up with a hard beat. Some real, like, creative shit. And I'll go, oh, that's dope. Anyway.
Jump up and get down.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if they got flack for this at the time. I mean, you guys would have to tell me. Talk to your OGs and stuff like that. And if you're an OG, someone older than me, obviously, that was around at this time, I'm curious to know what people thought about this video. Because, I mean, again, this is hip-hop. It's black American, black New York, obviously, culture, the vibe of it, obviously. But, there's no black people in this video, from what I remember. And that's fine. Again, like, I'm not expecting to always see black folk in the video, right? Even though, obviously, you're boring hip-hop. But it would have, I guess maybe a cherry on top would have been nice if there was a brother in there. But then, I don't know. Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't always have to be about us or about you, right? Like, again, I love that they're repping the Irish culture here, or just that young, youthful Irish vibe. So, yeah, it's totally cool. And I do wonder if people were like, oh, like, what's that about? Anyway, or they just thought of it as just a dope video that was sort of anthropological that captures a moment in time, which it does. It's just fire. River dancing. That's what you're supposed to do, man. Rap. The cream of the crop. I rise to the top. I'll never eat a pig because a pig is a cop. I'm daddy at the Terminator. This is fire. His name is Sega. And I ain't going out like no punk bitch. I might switch. Even the way but I ain't going out like no punk bitch. Used to get used to one style, I might switch. Again, Eminem can't do this. Eminem is, once he gets that stuttery shit, he stays in that fucking pocket the entire time. Or he'll do a goofy vocal change, but it's like, that's not a style switch. You're doing the same shit over and over again. I'm sorry, right? Again, you might think that this stuff is elementary, but being able to, emote like that, but I ain't going out like no punk bitch. You just use one style, I might switch. Just coming up with that and executing that on record requires thought and skill. It's not as easy. Trust me, you try to do it on a new beat you've never heard before, some weird game-changing beat like this, because this was a weird game-changing beat. Cypress Hill, I don't know if it was Sendog or Be Real, talked about, they had this beat first, and they couldn't come up with anything for it, right? They got this beat before Everlast did. And it's like, and they were like, and they sat with it. And they couldn't think. That's the thing. Beats, it's when you have great game-changing beats, sometimes you don't know what to do with that shit, right? And you're like, how do I get in? What's the pocket? What's the vibe? What do I do with it? Everlast figured it out. He's a smart guy. Jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump up and get down. Jump, the fire, the corner. That's hard. What was that? So, Muggs, it's almost like the algorithm knew that I was on a Muggs kick recently. So DJ Muggs of Cypress Hill made this beat. Absolutely classic. You'll see up there in the corner Fear Itself, which is by Apathy. It was also made by DJ Muggs. DJ Muggs, groundbreaking producer. I think he's an Italian cat from Queens. Again, hip hop is hip hop, man. You can be white in hip hop. Like, I've never said that you can't be. Straight up. So that's obvious. This song is monumental, right? Again, when people talk about not like us, they're not like us. Like, I've been around much bigger songs than Not Like Us. Okay, I don't even hear Not Like Us like that. And I'm in Toronto. Like you guys, well, maybe it's because I'm in Toronto. But again, when people talk about these songs now in the social media era, they're so supposedly massive. I'm like, they're not bigger than House of Pain, Jump Around. There's just no way, right? This song is old. Like, this is like, I was a kid when this came out, and I was like, ooh, this shit's fire. You know, and it's got like what? Even by YouTube standards, 124 million views. That's a lot of fucking views. For a song that predates social media? Seriously. That, like, and the young kids, when you talk to young kids, it's not like they go back. A lot of them do not go back and look at older shit, which is why their music sucks, by the way. But that's another question. That's a whole nother discussion. But the point is that for a song to have that many views, 124 million views on a new platform, and then what, 69 million views on House of Pain's own channel, it's ridiculous. That's a popular song. Okay, this is not forced. The bots aren't telling you, like, you gotta like Everlast because Everlast is bringing hip hop back. It's not that shit. It's just the song's fire. And then look at this shit. Look at Woodstock. This is 2017. So this is what? The song came out in 1992. I'm trying to do my math here. So this is probably like 25 years after the song came out. Okay? I hope my math is right. I'm pretty decent with math off the top of my head. 25 years after, this dude is doing Jump Around live. I don't know where this is. And they're losing their shit. This song is probably older than some of the, like, a lot of the people in this crowd. Okay? This is not normal. No one is going to be doing this. Look, frankly, I don't think anyone's going to be doing this for even anything on Live Love ASAP. I'm going to be real with you. So that's why, again, I don't like this idea when people try to compare old songs versus new songs. It doesn't work to me. It just doesn't. Look at this. This is wild to me. And apparently they do this every year. They have a Jump Around Day or some shit like that. You know, this is what people that stan Kendrick, they want us to believe that this is what's going to happen to Kendrick's music. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay, this is not forced. Again, this is not Everlast going and his crew going to the football teams and be like, you should use my song. Please use my song. They're just doing it because the shit's fire. Okay, it's a classic record. Again, man, like, what matters at the end of the day is the music. It's not the narrative. I don't know anything about Everlast. I honestly don't. I don't know anything about his life story. I don't really care. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful, but as an artist, he's presenting the music. He's made something that's, that he believed in. That was a phenomenal song, and hopefully they're all reaping the benefits of that. And that's what it is. Like, use music to enjoy your life, to give you something. It's not for like self-promotion. Like, this whole thing of music becoming this weird thing about self-promotion is like, ugh. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, we like Jump Around because it is celebrating aspects of ourselves in terms of obviously our need to, let loose. And then, of course, let loose with a whole group of people, jump around, right? But again, you understand the difference. You know what I'm talking about. The self-promotion angle is a lot more cynical and a bit sinister in a sense, because it's discounting the actual song itself and the need for community, and very much like, oh no, it's about me. It's about me. So it's all about me. I'm the only one that matters. I'm going to use this to get a one-up. And obviously I don't like that. And songs like that, any song that's made in that vein, that's all about one-upping, like, whatever for gain, I mean, obviously the next song is going to come around and do the exact same thing. So if Not Like Us is big today, something else is going to come out and be just as big, if not bigger, tomorrow. In this social media era where, no one cops music and just people share stuff so easily. Like, it doesn't matter. Right? There's no way you can get it to make me believe that something Not Like Us, a song that people didn't really purchase, that just happens to be all over the internet by bots or otherwise, is more popular than a song that people actually paid for, right, when they came out, and still paid for in some way, shape, or form, whether it's like for example, all these people paid money for seats to take part in this particular sort of festival moment. So you can't compare the eras. You should just let the eras be and try to be great for what your era implies. And that's the problem when you start to talk about Kendrick and you compare Kendrick to people in his era, he doesn't even mention up. And I've said this a million times. You know, like literally Kendrick to me, I don't even think is a top 10 rapper of his own era. I think there are rappers who've made better music than him. Obviously, we know Drizzy, Rocky, Lil B, 21 Savage, off the top of my head, French Montana. Like I can just keep going. That's 5 off top. Then I'm like, these guys have made better songs than anything I've heard from Kendrick. Shit, you know, there's more. I'm sure there's more than I'm forgetting off rip, and that's the problem. So you have to kind of stick to your own era, okay? Anyway, I think I've said enough. Shout out to Everlast. Oh, you know what? I'll play one more since. Let's see here. Put your head out. This was fire. If you want to hear some more, you know, if you want to hear some more House of Pain shit, find more lyrics, facts. This is great. Anyway, on that note, I'm out.